and measure the best.
Adaptable, all capital, label radical yet rational. A tactical approach is palpable if this animal is fallible, but that conclusion is laughable. So with for all detachable from the mandible, you see it now.
Hey guys, welcome to the 245th episode of the World Blockchain Roundtable. Our hosts for today are Lisa Mighty Davis from the Mighty Layer, Greg, Zach, and I from Greg from Rivet, and Zach and I, and obviously Greg from the world
the Legacy Right.
Legacy Right podcast.
The Legacy Right's colonizing World Blockchain Roundtable today. It's basically Lisa holding out here.
I love it. Well, I'm a fan of Legacy Right, so it's kind of all.
Yep.
Thank you.
You guys are all inverse, right? This is pretty much all canon. There aren't even any retcons yet.
There you go.
We all need a mark, right? So
don't miss Sunday for a special time. Still 5 p.m., but Sunday we will have Andy Coons on for the Legacy Right.
That's cool.
Don't miss that one.
I can't wait.
It sounds like it's going to be a good time. Just a real quick update on World Blockchain Roundtable. Ownership tokens distribution from last week. Dependent Deep Dive was the episode, and each host from last week will receive 53 lot. Each topic contributor from last week will receive 66 lot. Last week's theme was nominated by Greg. He will receive 66 lot. And ownership tokens come with perpetual passive income, free edits, and governance votes. And World Blockchain Roundtable is the world's first DAO-based podcast. And it's kind of an interesting idea.
And possibly only one. Have you guys ever gone looking for another one? Because I don't think I've found one.
I had not seen one myself.
Not saying the animal ain't out there, but we haven't seen it. It's rare field biology in shows. If you see another one, shout it out, because we could probably hook up with them and compare how cool we are by relative note. So
it'd be fun to see how another community functioned, or to make the comparisons.
I know we don't talk about Dragon Chain much on the show by rote, like that's kind of the policy, but I'm going to audible this one for a second and just point out that one of the coolest things about this approach isn't that it's a DAO, but it's that it's so simple to use, right? Like, it's not that anybody couldn't set up a DAO show, or that somebody hasn't and we don't know because the infrastructure is hidden from us because that's way too complicated for everybody involved, right? Maybe they're just sitting there going, hey, we totally built one. Well, this one's public facing, right? We don't need everybody to agree with how it works for it to work, which is pretty fantastic. And I just thought that would be worth pointing out. So anybody who wants to try this, there's a reason it works over here, and it's not because we're especially good at it. It's because it's so easy, anyone can do it.
Yeah, and if they want to join, they can go be a part of the show by joining Den.Social, and then go to the WBRT layer.
So if the star in you is saying, "Hey, what if we did this?" You should say, "Yeah, good idea," and then go sign up.
Yeah, and be a part of it. That's true.
Well, let's go ahead and talk about February's theme results real quick. First one, New Year, new blockchain. What are some of the best new blockchain projects for 2026? The second one is decentralized. I guess week 2 would be decentralized UBI, blockchain-based basic income, no government. The third one is opting out with blockchain, and the fourth week will be systems that should use blockchain, not centralized databases.
Nice.
And just a second.
Sweet.
And I got the votes here if you want to pull it up real quick.
Okay.
And one vote for new blockchain. This is just basically what we read earlier.
Okay.
So
the winning vote.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah.
That's cool. Let's see what some of the top ones are, just for fun.
Okay. Yeah.
He was just reading.
Yeah, I had already read them in advance. My bad.
Nice. Oh, okay. I see. Sorry, I was confused.
So you're fine.
Happens all the time.
It's early.
All right. Yeah.
Oh, it's every day. If it's a day ending in day, then I'm going to be confused 1,000 times in a given second.
Right.
So.
I'm just going to go ahead and refresh real quick because I had hit the back button there. And hold on just a second. The theme of the week for this week, and I just pulled up, is crypto and gaming in 2026, early or dead. And we have community questions here. So
nice.
Are we all ready to get into them?
This is actually a better topic than people know. And I know secrets. I know secrets that people here would care about, but I can't tell you.
Secrets.
They don't want to. They want to break confidentiality.
The show. I don't want to spoil it. So this is like me wrapping a present for you right now and dangling it in front of your face. You guys are going to get something cool from us soon.
That's why I suggested this, was that I really don't know anything about crypto and gaming, specifically with the gaming. In fact, right before the show started, the guys were talking about a certain game and using like initials for it, and I had no idea what they were talking about.
Yeah, but there's some like game philosophy though that I think we can all understand that might be worth getting into. You know, if you want to take it to a super general level, we can probably answer. Like, you don't have to be a gaming nerd in order to talk about games like this, because everybody's played a game before that they liked.
Right. Right. Well,
actually, that's a great, before we even start, it's a great first question. What's everybody's favorite game that they've ever played? It could be any game, like hopscotch is cool, if that was your favorite, Lisa, or whatever. Yeah. Or I'm not assuming that you like low tech games. I'm just like, you were probably a kid before high tech games. So, right. What made you love it?
So I'm not competitive. In nature, and so I like there's a game that we play in dominoes called Chicken Foot, and it's because you do not have to you don't have to pay attention so hard or think so much. You just like enjoy the people that you're with, and it's their turn. It's not aggressive. No one is stealing somebody else's position, and then somebody gets their feelings hurt.
So it's not a game of temperature control learning for children. It's a game of play.
It's a play. It's a community. I like the thought that everybody's sitting around the table or sitting around wherever. You probably could play it online, but it's like,
and it lets everyone in, right?
Yeah, everybody has
because you can be 5 and there's no wrong play. You know, like you can just try and that's good enough. And if you can get to the basic rule set, then you're already there, and it's super easy. That's what I love about really games like that. At least
to me, gaming is spending time with the people that you're gaming with, or that community. And that's where, when the guys were talking about before we got started, they were saying, "Oh, I love that storyline," or "This is a great story. This season or that season was a great storyline." And I thought, man, that is a really important part of gaming, or finding games that people will stay engaged.
Well, especially the easy ones, right? You're kind of telling the shared story by what happens while you're doing this simple game. Right. You know, it's like you guys sitting around is the game, because everybody's playing a game that's so simple that if you went based on like a turn description in an analytic way, it would not read like chess championships. Right. It would look like a whole bunch of nothing happened until a few plays caused the game to stop, and nobody would know why it ended, because most people probably quit games more like that when they get tired of it or they have to go. Right.
It is what it is, and somebody won, and
Yeah, that's a really cool, I hadn't even thought about games like that, but I think that's a really important gaming level to hit when we're talking about crypto at this level, because it's so new,
Be less intimidating for new people to enter. Is that what you're thinking?
Yeah. Well, I mean, just like in game design, start simple is always smart in design. I think it should apply to games.
Listen, imagine playing Assassin's Creed. I'm talking old games. When you have the Assassin's contracts that you can do, and imagine tokenizing those targets for every contract, and then expanding up on it to make it less linear, to make it more full free roam. So then
let me throw in a stake for you. Let me throw in a stake for you that's controversial off the top of this. Keep going, but I want to add this after. I just want to throw this in.
Yeah, but imagine a scenario to where the contracts become much more real and much more full throttle, to where each contract you accept, there's, say, an NFT that's attached to it. I mean, or some sort of privacy coin mechanism, so that you can tokenize to blockchain networks and actually make a significant amount of money within the crypto space while playing and assassinating targets in Assassin's Creed.
Right. So let me ask you this. Does that game keep its value, lose its value, or get better if you add the following constraint? The character creator is infinite and fun, and you can choose anything one time. And then if you die instead of your target, the next one you pick has to be some slight permutation on it. And your character is dead forever. You never get the same look, the same affect, anything. The skills don't matter, but your presence in the world has stakes that can go both ways, good or better or worse.
I would say that's better, but some people would probably be like, well, that makes it harder. Well, that's the point.
Well, that makes it like harder. You can lose something permanently after you try.
Yeah, because like, since you're earning reputation or skill build.
I'm not saying you can't play again, but you got to change the way your character looks because he can't be the same guy. He's already gone.
Exactly. I mean, you could do the same thing with tokenizing aspects of like Red Dead Redemption. Like this is where Red Dead Online could make a comeback. Rockstar could actually thrive off of that tokenized.
Right, so they can make it so like your character is dead and their tombstone is on chain, and that makes it so that the game will literally not recreate the same guy ever again.
Exactly, and then you can actually make a substantial real income, actually doing basic things like take like with PC you have mods, but say let's actually implement it to all of it. Like the mods make it official and do it on console as well and on chain. So not only if you die, your tombstone is on blockchain and you're going to have to come back as a different character to start all over again. But at the same time, like you could also create assets, or you could make money off of certain assets that are tokenized through basic crafting techniques, basic hunting and gathering and selling, and then doing like little chores or little tasks here and there. Like you could even implement where you like go to a shop owner and ask for a job and like sweep out the basement or whatever, or merchandise all of the crates within the storefront, make some money actually in the game, and then tokenize it on chain and actually fulfill that in real life. So
the chain you described is exactly right. We still haven't heard from Andrew though. What do you think, buddy? And what's your favorite games? You guys also didn't answer that one. I want to hear the answer to this question.
Red Dead Redemption.
Good one. I love it.
Well, okay. If we're talking about offline only video games, I guess Final Fantasy VI would be my go-to.
Cool. And you guys also have to answer why it's special to you. Like, what do you think makes that game special as a game? What gives it gameness that makes it greatness?
Well, I have some personal, really strong identification with that game. It just feels like it's just, I don't know. It's weird. It feels like I'm following the narrative.
Ineffable, right? You can't tell why you love it. You just know.
Yeah. As for online games, I guess you could say, I know this is a really old game, but Midnight Club 2, I mean, it had some really good online content, and you could create your own, maps and stuff like that and play against other people on it. And I think that would be really kind of good and interesting in today's blockchain world, because you could create the maps, post it up, kind of like they do with Mario Maker. And people would, compete, and once you're out. But then you could obviously, like you said, come back as something else and give it a second shot. And just it's like a high score kind of system like people used to do in the arcades back in the 80s.
I just like to say, Lisa turned her screen off, and that's just fantastic that the Divine Mercy is holding.
There we go.
Did I change that the last time I hosted? That's funny.
No,
I don't know how to change, or I didn't even think to change.
No, it's a good thing. We don't need to change it. If anybody's offended by it, then you are not a free speech fan.
I didn't.
Right.
I just needed to.
There ought to be a law.
I just thought that was funny because that's actually my image that I put in. I put in the image into AI and just said make it realistic looking, and then I think I ended up adding that as an avatar because I don't think there's an avatar for the actual host account.
That is your fault.
We should probably come up with a way to make JoJo part of the party there. I know that you're not supposed to do this, but I think this is a silly heresy. If you use it in the right spirit, you can actually make this cool, right? I feel like the JoJo Jesus would actually be pretty neat. if you used them in the right spirit. You know?
Nice.
There we go. There's some free speech for you. That's some free speech that will challenge some people. If you can't take that, you can't really say you're a free speech enthusiast.
Well, I mean, also Silver is making dreams come true. That's some free speech for you.
Yep.
True.
I was thinking about this. Sorry to sidebar that, guys. Keep going.
It's all right. No, you know what to say. Once precious metals kind of reach this point, there's always a chance that the system comes crashing down.
Ooh, Economy. That's a good game. That is a great game, Andrew. Economy is a fun game.
Risk.
Did Andrew ever do what his favorite game? Oh, yes. The football one or whatever.
No, the Final Fantasy, right? Final Fantasy 6.
Is that not a football game?
Mm-hmm.
No, it's a role playing.
Zach, you still haven't answered what you love about Red Dead Redemption 2, correct?
The realism.
Or did you say your first was the favorite, or your favorite was the first, rather? Sorry.
Yeah, my favorite is both games.
Okay. The series.
Yeah, I think the first one I like more because you actually get in depth of why John is doing what he's doing and why he's forced into it. The second game, which is the prequel, you kind of get to go deeper into the last chapter of the gang that actually kind of rewrites and grants you some answers to why Red Dead Redemption 1 is exactly why it unfolds. So but I also just like
in that case is between you and the storytellers, who you actually have a lot of respect for through that. Yeah, cool.
Yeah. The story of it is better. I mean, when it comes to Rockstar, they're more known for, well, like Midnight Club 2 or GTA, Grand Theft Auto, but then you play through Red Dead or Red Dead 2, and then you're just like, this is different. This is like, there's a beauty to this game, not just like aesthetics towards the environment and how they were able to capture your eye with the realism of the environment, and people actually, you get to see people actually doing work when you're riding by, right?
It's the depth it's not so much the depth of the world or its breadth, it's its thickness, like the thickness of it, the things going on around you that feels like stuff matters there.
Yeah, there's nothing sterile about it. Like you play through Grand Theft Auto, even the latest one, Grand Theft Auto 5, like there's a staleness to it when you're running through like Los Santos. It's like, it's just a basic free roam sandbox puzzle game. Like you're just trapped in a sandbox and there's nothing to it. The NPCs are NPCs. Who cares? But you play Red Dead and the NPCs are thriving. Like you actually get to see the reality of what's going on inside the game that is reflecting of that world back in history. So you're actually implemented in a history in a fictitious game.
Oh yeah. I mean, and the other things worth pointing out is like how much effort goes into making a game feel thick when the programming itself doesn't allow you to really generate from seed. You don't really get to build a game by going, I'd like it to be this, and that, and all these properties and characteristics, and then have it just assume all the other parts about the world that you don't describe specifically. Right? We can't really build like that yet being the key thing. No hints here, maybe. Or maybe not. Hint, hint. The game assembles itself around a sort of an unpredictable predictableness, where you don't know if you're going to win, and you don't know if you're going to prevail, but you do know for a fact that the world has stakes and that you can come out on that permanently one way or the other.
We're getting close to that aspect, though, because like, look what you can do with creating your own maps and your own environments with, like, say, Minecraft and Little Big Planet. You can create your own levels, your own maps, your own game essentially inside the game. And I mean, Little Big Planet, I mean, you can make it pretty real.
When it starts getting frustrating when you're like, I wish I had some new primitives to build with. These are all getting kind of stale, right?
Yeah, that's the only problem. Like, you want to.
So if you want a world that gives you unlimited primitives, you need reality or something that can generate something close to it in the same way.
Yeah.
Interesting. That's also why I think that games like Lisa described have so much simplicity, and yet they can have infinitely longer runs and be infinitely fun, right? Because you bring them into a room and sit there and physically play them with your family and friends, right? That actually anchors into the thickness that you don't have with the simple games in a sterile space where it's just you and the thing. That's why you can't play solitaire on a computer unless you're stuck at work.
Yeah. To Lisa's point about her game, like with dominoes or cards or anything of that nature, like take Red Dead for example. That's another thing that you can actually tokenize with blackjack and domino, like all the little side activities with the poker and all that. You could actually embrace that into a blockchain like game and tokenize that. You could just sit there and just play blackjack all day and actually make real money if they actually thought about it. So
yeah, absolutely.
If it wasn't manipulated
or lose it.
And that's where like the benefit would be it being on blockchain or crypto or something with an open source that people could trust. Because otherwise you're just going to Vegas, man, and the house is going every time.
Well, I mean, and that's the thing about Vegas too. Right? I think we're maybe too quick to judge gambling because it's a game that unfortunately places itself in sort of seedy surroundings. But I think that unfortunately comes more from the fact that the state regulates it than the fact that it's a kind of game that has a natural nastiness to it. Like we start from a framing, this game set has natural nastiness to it. So we're going to build rules to protect against that nastiness. And they frame it inside nasty. And then they point at the result and say, look, they're breaking our rules to prevent nasty. This is nasty. When they didn't stop to consider whether or not, had they not made the rule set, the game would have evolved a different way.
Right.
I wonder if casinos are more of an example of what happens when we create games with stakes and then try to regulate the possibility that people can experience real loss in a game with meaning.
Well, as someone who works at a casino, I can give my perspective a little bit about this. People overdo it, and they think, "Oh, I'm going to throw out all the money in it at once, and I'm going to win." You got to go. And it costs $10 where I work to go on the boat and go out for a couple hours and come back. You spend $50, nothing more than that. You're not going to win every time, but eventually you're gonna have a better chance of coming out ahead. It's about controlling the amount of money that you're spending.
Exactly. Because it's an entertainment budget. If you play winnings over time and sort of dollar cost average the chance, then over time you will leave more often with win than with loss if you have a little bit of luck.
Yeah. Also, everybody, if you want a good time, $20 an hour with Andrew at the boat.
Not $20.
Also, it's worth noting that you're forbidden from innovating on the slot machine too much.
For a good time.
Right? So the fact that the one-armed bandit feels so steely has to do steely and the thefty type of stuff. I was coining a verb out of an adverb out of I forget what I was trying to do to grammar. Let's just do to grammar what I'm going to do and let the chips fall where they may.
Right.
It steals from you is the impression you get because of the framing it's placed in.
Don't joke about the one-armed bandit. Yeah. My mom had a freak out moment when I was a baby living down in Florida. The sheriff personally showed up to the door for the house that we were renting back then when my dad had a job there. Ironically enough, he had to go back to Cincinnati, and so he wasn't home. But he was in and out so much. It was just my mom, and the sheriff knocked on the door and started talking about this one-armed bandit missing an arm. And wanted to pressure her into information because
yes, to be clear, I'm talking about one-armed bandits in the game theoretic definition only. It's an easier way to describe it than talking about Dutch books, because nobody wants to get into martingales here. That's too much. But if anybody who knows what that is, high five for martingales because they're the coolest numbers. I love them.
What about Bloomingdale's?
I don't know what a Bloomingdale is, but that number is not taken yet. So somebody who can find a cool use for a number that needs to be named, let's name it.
It's a department store.
I know.
It's Macy. Yeah, Macy.
I was pretending to naively not get that he was referencing something else.
So, Amber, should we jump into questions? We've got a hard stop in about an hour.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, that's fine.
Okay.
There's just a few questions anyways, so let's go ahead and get through them real quick.
Yeah.
All right, here.
Now
this
we've
is
got a good
first one
kind of
from William.
context.
It looks like they're all from William.
They're-
Looks like so.
They're all William.
Thank you. Great and wonderful.
It's always the great emperor.
Yes.
Well,
All
you know,
right.
the great emperor still has a bit of my ire because I
Right.
tried to reach him to get some help before we started the show so we could start early. But I'm only giving the emperor so much crap. He already clearly had his stakes in for the day, so we'll ask his questions and then grudgingly hand him his reward because those are the rules. Grr.
Right. Sorry.
I'm teasing. I'm just trying to point out.
I'm not used to hosting here, so
everybody.
The data voted. No, you're doing great.
Yeah. Oh, here it is. It's this one right here.
Yeah.
All right. In a post-labor economy, after AI and automation, what will make money playing video games for tokens that are fungible? Will we make money for playing video games that are fungible? I think I'm going to answer that first. I think we kind of covered that earlier when we was talking about what Greg was talking about, our favorite video games and stuff like that. But I mean, what do you guys think?
I think that attention is the new, just like over all these years, we are finding out now when our data is being stolen and the powers that be have been monetizing it, we're going to find out that our attention is a commodity, and that part of that we could be paid for playing games because you're giving your attention to that product, and maybe it improves that product like we were talking earlier. Greg was mentioning, like, does it change the game because so many people played it that you see where their attention goes in different parts of the game, or feedback or loss of interest in the game. So I think that our attention will become the commodity in that situation. So I could see that happening. Sorry for the dogs barking.
Oh, you're fine. You're fine. What do you think, Greg?
I think there's going to be I think the right answer to this question is actually probably yes, and probably in some ways no. But because there's a lot of loaded terms in here, right? Like first we've got AI, and we still don't know what the only word in that string we know is artificial, right? We make the thing, and so we call it artifice. But intelligence we really don't understand thoroughly yet. I mean, and to the extent that anybody can claim to understand it at all. But we don't have the eye down well enough to know what that's going to do to the concept of money, right? Because what if, like, for instance, we find out, here's a crazy idea, and I'm not saying it's true. Just try this on as a reason to hold some ambiguity about this and be okay with it, right? What if it turns out instead of optimizing for anything, intelligence is actually doing like a cost check or something silly like that, right? Like where what it's doing is not let's do this because, but rather let's not do this because, and then some math, right? Like what if that's your brain and all of a sudden money and thinking doesn't make sense to distinguish? Then all of a sudden we have this future that's, yeah, you're technically right, because it's both intelligence plus automation plus games plus crypto. But in reality, it could be like intelligence equals the output of a market. You know, like if somehow down at the base layer, our brains are sitting there saying at the neuron level going, does this cost? Does this cost? Does this cost? Just over and over again, doing a balance check. Like if that's all they do, then it actually doesn't make sense to distinguish money from thought that's meaningful. So yes, but with a big asterisk, because just like the internet didn't turn out being TV, but only better. I don't think the games we finally get right are going to be like games only better and money only better or labor or economy or automation only better, right? Like the intelligence piece is the big mystery here. And I don't think we're far from solving it, but I don't think we can really claim and know enough knowledge of it now to know the answer. And I think that's why I hold a sort of a no stance. I haven't decided where I stand on this.
What do you think, Zach?
About what?
Well, I guess
post-labor economy about what a post-labor economy would look like after AI and automation. Will we make money playing games for tokens that are fungible? Only if we're not in the effect of digital slavery that the Clarity Acts the Clarity and the Genius Act promotes. So we have to think
dear
this
God.
we have to think of this as a means of complete divorce from a system while implementing ourselves into the system. So how do we? So I'm going to answer this as a question: How do we get a post-labor economy rolling where we can tokenize games and make money?
I can answer that. I was watching a video about the Soviet Union yesterday, and about how they tried to completely abolish money. And he made a point in the video. He was talking about how the black market was a very active thing in the Soviet Union, and he said that the reason that I can't remember who the author was, but the point was made in the video was that was basically like the what's it called, when we get sick, right? It's the the nervous system acting out as a response to them trying to maintain control of the economy.
That very well could be, actually. It sounds like something that we see human brains react badly to.
Yeah. So I don't know. I just I figured I'd throw that out there.
That's a cool thought there, man. Thank you for adding that. Lisa, what would you throw into the answer to this question?
I was the first one to answer, so I was saying.
Yeah, I wanted to give you a chance to get a final parting shot, because we rarely give you those.
Oh, well, that's very sweet. No, I think it's really interesting how everybody kind of had their different thought on it, and that we're not there yet, but it does. I loved what you said, Greg, about how we thought the internet was going to be a better form of TV, and it's nowhere. You wouldn't describe it that way now. So when and if crypto gaming, and then for Andrew to relate it to like an actual happening in history where Russia tried to go off
the deep end.
Yeah.
It didn't work well.
Wild to think about, because people are starting. I mean, you're seeing the world walking away from the US dollar. Now, a lot of people are saying that will never happen because ultimately it's backed by the military might and all that. And
yeah, we converged on a solution to money that started making it turn so meaningless it's almost Soviet-like. I mean, the next step is take it away, right? Because
it
can't get much worse.
Then that's not a free market, and then you don't. Like, I think about the barter system. Like, if the system were to crash and we were to need something else, well, what value does gaming bring? And that's where it would have to me, the attention part would be so important, because you're either looking at ads for companies, which that's your attention, or you're changing the game, or you're giving input. It has to bring value, or there is no value for it. You know what I mean? So then it doesn't work in a free market. And it doesn't
What if we find out like the answer to this can't be some kind of fix, is the question. Like, how do you actually make this happen if making it happen causes the failure mode?
Yeah, because I don't want everybody just sitting around.
I mean, that sounds like accelerationism to me, but.
Well, I mean, does it though? I've been so blown away by how much I thought I knew that I learned every day that is not even just anything but me framing stuff for myself and calling it important scaffolding. So I've been asking these people, like, I'm trying to find the most embarrassing, simple question to ask. Not embarrassing in a bad sense, like the thing that's so simple that if you challenge it, you're like, well, it makes you get, like why is the sky blue? Is the classic kid doing this, right?
Yeah.
But the further down question is, why is meaningful in this context? Why does the kid have any concept for is by the time they can ask yet?
Now
that question starts to get like embarrassingly simple, right?
Yeah, that's the
word.
The
answer to that one is because has meaning too.
But that's the word salad that the Clintons have leaned on for years, and many other.
Well, they've been mangling those words and kind of sucking the meaning out of them for their own ends. But they used to have simple meanings when it would anchor them to things.
You got to make a statement and then go back and you know.
I don't know what I'm saying. I'm not saying anything particular. I'm just saying making a statement because I have no idea where I stand on this one.
Yeah, no, you're fine.
But in the gaming context, right, post-labor economy, I think the answer is we don't know, because that world looks so different from where we are right now. It's coming. We can say some things about it, but we can't say much about it yet without being there. And if we say too much about it, we might shape it the wrong way, and get ourselves a new set of problems that makes it not quite work like we hoped.
Well, here's the thing we could either have a post-labor style economy, post-scarcity level style of post-labor economy with AI and automation that looks like China, that ends up making large, vast wastelands of other nations that are similar in North Korea, or we could end up recreating the myth. Yeah, or we recreate the mythos of Atlantis.
Here's the question then. I kind of want to invert the question. I want to say, what does it not look like to get there? Like, how do we not get there? Where are all the failure paths, and why is it that they're for sure now not going to work to get us there? What do we know? Or what do we think we know enough to say, like, at least it's close enough?
I think I can answer that directly. I was watching a video the other day from Nomad Capitalist, and he was talking about how jealousy festers law. And I thought that was a very accurate description of what the situation is in today's day.
Sorry, I didn't quite hear the second word. What'd you say?
Jealousy festers law.
Jealousy festers law. That's a good statement.
Yeah.
Wow. Go on. I just wanted.
That's not the exact quote, but that was basically context of what.
Please go ahead. I wasn't meaning to interrupt you, to stop you. I just wanted to know what you said.
No, you're fine. And I think that's where you find yourself in today's day and age. Is there's so many jealous people that you're just totally losing, a sense of what normal is because they keep changing the law in order to answer the jealousy.
Right. So, like, editing the framework is a bad idea, is what you're saying. At least in one case, we know editing the framework doesn't get you anywhere. It just gets you trouble.
Yeah.
Is that the only case, though? It's now the next question.
It runs to collapse.
Messing with the question or messing with the framework. Have we seen that happen before?
Yeah. I mean,
I don't know. I'm just asking the question. I'm going to leave it out in the room.
Yeah. I mean, in a way, you could say that's what happened in the Soviet Union.
Or like South Africa had some chaos, as I recall. Like we can just have a general, wet finger in the air chaos barometer now. We can probably point to a system where somebody messed with the system after it was already running.
Yeah. Well, we're ready to get to the next question?
Yeah. I hope that was clear as mud for everybody. I didn't mean to take it philosophically that far. That's just where it went.
That's all right. Okay, question.
Oh, I'm not apologizing. I'm just pointing out the ground around me.
It's all right, man. Why didn't token earnings sorry. Go, Zach.
I said, without reason, you are retarded. We must have reason.
No. Well,
we're still retarded, though.
How about maybe with absolute reason and with absolute irreason, we are all retarded.
Dangerously retarded. Go on, Andrew.
Why didn't token earnings in games become more mainstream? Back in the day, it's sad that, it is sad, or said, I guess, typo. The Xbox and PlayStation didn't add token of rewards that were fungible or valuable outside of the actual game. Was this a missed opportunity, or did the SCCE and the government, Zionist occupied government, kill this growth?
He meant sad. Yeah, it is sad that Xbox and PlayStation didn't add token rewards. It is sad.
Oh,
yeah.
Sorry, well, I mean, I was reading it,
right?
Yeah,
that's the thing that bugs me about it is how we went in and we tried to do this thing, and we had like one shot to just sort of shove it through the door and make them deal with the fact that this is now the world, right? And 2018 happened, and everybody started hesitating the second they pulled that first lawsuit against that one exchange, right? The second they went after, what was it? Coin Market or Coin something, or it was Coin. I forget who they went after first. We were watching close because at the time I was running Open Relay, not Rivet. We're still Open Relay LLC doing business as Rivet because we got out of that line of business. The regulators scared us away. Well, they didn't scare us away. They made it so that going for the thing that we knew we would actually need to build for this to work was now going to be impossible because the whole market was already thinking about it in their terms. As soon as they did one lawsuit, they're like, everyone's like, oh, we got to start thinking about doing KYC. And I'm sitting here thinking, wait, what? Frame shift? I thought crypto didn't need that, because it still runs without it. We just added it on and then said it was necessary. So like the thing that I'm dancing around here is these guys were already sort of pre-locked into being institutions, right? The Xbox people are run by Microsoft, and the PlayStation people are run by a Japanese company called Sony, right? Like, what happens when governments get mad at hardware manufacturers these days, or infrastructure manufacturers these days? They didn't want over at Microsoft and over at Sony to send their CEO to the Roman storm chair, did they?
So that's why. So like, as long as they kept it inside the game, it wasn't money. Because I think about, like, my son plays the Xbox thing, and he gets gift cards, which is money put on a card to be a token then.
Yeah.
And then he can gift people things that he bought with that money or token, and that is exchanging.
It's an exchange. It's a medium exchange, but they've complicated the definition of money so much that they can weasel out of it and say this isn't quite money
because it stays on that platform.
Right, it's contained.
And how is crypto different from that?
Right, as soon as it voluntarily ring-fenced, it became cereal box prizes, not tokens.
Right.
Yeah.
Because those can be, I guess, because they can't be traded back into money. They can't then cash in the thing that they bought.
Well, it can act like money,
traded.
But it can't act like money in the limit where the government says this ain't money anymore. This is crime. And the people running it go, well, I guess you guys have the guns, so okay, we're not gonna let crime happen. So we have to stop some instances of money, right? Like, and all those instances are the ones that leak out into the world because they wish the economy to encourage things that aren't playing that game. They don't want a world where cereal box prices are so rewarding that all the rest of the crap they make us suffer is actually insufferable enough to make us quit and go just do cereal boxes. Right? Like,
yeah, but even cereal boxes could be money. I mean, when I think about we did a lot of intercity ministry, and at the beginning, we made a lot of really big mistakes. We thought we were helping by giving gift cards for grocery store gift cards to families. Well, then we turn around after being there and staying engaged with the community for months and years later, you find out that those gift cards were being spent for things like sexual favors in the parking lot, and so anything
direct to services, barter,
misused, and in that barter system. And I guess that's where I was saying, like, with the gaming thing, I'm guessing that's how they're not being attacked by SEC and all of the powers that be, is because they say, well, you can't then give me your super.
Because the second,
and I'm going
because
to
the second it stops being part of your trophy case in the game world and part of your trophy case in the out here world, it starts to feel like you've got stakes.
The reality is they could, like, a person on a game could gift someone a weapon or a skirt or whatever, I don't know, outfit, skin,
hat,
and then, but they could be giving them cash IRL for that, and the game would never know about it, and so thus the game is. But
the only thing you're not allowed to do, according to the government, is give the game negative stakes, right? There's supposed to be a safety net to catch you if you lose, and you lose nothing, right? That's why they permit that, because there's a floor where it says you can win, and those are yours. Those prizes can be in your trophy room. But if you lose, no big, reset, try again. The world's still the same. Nothing changed. You didn't really lose at all. Pretty trippy.
Mario has 6 lives. You were able to gain access to 6 lives. Use them wisely. That's how I look at it.
If you turn the machine on and off again, right? What if the machine doesn't change that number when you turn it back on and off, right? Like, no resetting gets you your shit back if you lose it all. Wouldn't that be wild?
Well, then maybe the SEC
Yeah.
would come after you for that, for just that.
But if that were just fun and trivial, it wouldn't feel like gambling. It would just feel like stakes.
It would be reputation earning. Yeah.
Yeah. Or like
Yeah,
this
that's-
time in this game around, you can't erase from the scoreboard the top leader because this game has one winner, right? Even that is stakes that you can't build unless you make it so that somebody can lose permanently.
No, that's actually the negative effect, right? I mean, the fact that there's no reputation on the line, so it can be regulated to hell and back to the point
because
where
nobody
they can
will have any
ensure.
stakes in what they take away if there's nothing
Yeah.
that you can't take away and still have it
Yeah.
be equal.
Yeah. I mean, that's pretty much how like the gambling industry is regulated anymore. The state regulates for you to continuously lose while winning effectively, not really winning, but you think you're winning because you can still take out all these loans. In reality, you're just indebted to the casino, to the casino
really, if you
bank.
want to win casino, the goal is to keep playing for as many turns as possible because one of those is going to be law of large numbers huge.
Well, yeah. But do you actually win though in the casino when you
but
put in so
strategizing
much
survival
money?
towards the law of large numbers isn't in itself the game, really.
Well, I mean, true. But then at the same time, like when you're putting in like 20,000 lards indebted to yourself and you lose 20,000 lards, but then you end up finally winning and it's 30,000, you made it back, but
but if you spend so much you didn't finance the randomly large win, like you have to play for long enough to win that big. Given the like if you add up the possible max loss all the way to the endpoint, right? And then you go, this is as big as the jackpot I need to hit. What are my odds? And then if you turn your odds into how many tries would it take to make that completely inevitable? So you twice as many as the basic odds. If you really want to be sure, you have to jam it.
Well, I think that my issue is it's played on the predatory aspect that most people don't understand the odds.
Right.
So
and the predatory aspect of that is the government makes you quote the odds a certain way.
Yeah. Yeah.
Right. It's according to their frame or no, it's our way or the highway. You can't hide it in game dynamics and make it intuitive. You have to put it up front in numbers that nobody can math on the front side. And then make it illegal for people who are actually good at that kind of math in their heads to play, which is actually what they do.
So to answer your question there, William, was this a missed opportunity or did the SEC and government kill this growth? I vote the latter. It wasn't a missed opportunity because I don't think there was an opportunity because of the regulations of the SEC. So I think it was just a way to it was a fear mechanism to understand that there is no opportunity when the SEC is there to kill growth. Oh, excuse me, YouTube. Unalive growth.
Unalive.
I mean, I can agree with that, and the fact that governments utilize fear as a scare tactic every day, right? I think the opportunity is there if you had the right audience. Obviously, these are video gamers, so they're kind of they don't go with the fear; they go against the fear. They're all about adventure and having fun, and that's what they do. Xbox and PlayStation, they have what's it called, achievements, right? I could see using that kind of framework, and maybe pulling out what people did back in the day with Bitcoin, where they had the physical crypto coins.
Yeah,
where you would scan a QR code.
Case.
Yeah, you would use that framework for the achievements, and as a reward, you would get one of those crypto like equivalent coins. But
true,
it said you've unlocked this, and now it's actually worth something.
Yeah. Well, I think it depends on what you anchor it to, which was actually the next point that I wanted to touch on this here, and before we move on, if you guys don't mind.
Yeah,
I think this was worth it. So you ever play any game where the game is like a creative game and you could build something and show it off online if you get something really cool figured out? Like my example here is that Minecraft or Roblox or like No Man's Sky, when you build the new ships that you can build, like there are two win conditions and one of them is satisfying and one of them is not. More than once, right? The satisfying one is I came up with a cool design first and got it online first, and now this is my design, right? That's everybody's game when you're building something cool. Is like, what should I build that will actually wow the audience? And that's a one-time win, because the second somebody does it, 15 other people have broken it down into an architectural diagram that you can click by brick, and it's no longer special. It's just copying, right? So the first guy to make Mordor fly through space, which has happened, by the way, that's amazing. Literally, Barad-dûr with an eye on it, built on top of a ship so large it can barely stuff itself into a space station, right? Incredible idea. Only really cool once for that one person who came up with it, and just pretty cool if you were able to build it from a build kit, right? Still cool, still worth the fun, but you wouldn't do it twice. You'd go find a new build kit. I think there's something special in creativity that shows us that there's still like this stake that can be positive or negative, but that has to have a permanent failure mode in order for it to be meaningful.
Yeah, that makes sense.
That's just a thing to roll around in the old noggins out there. I'm not trying to say that is true. I'm just trying to point at something that I see that puzzles me and kind of is interesting.
It seems so obvious, right?
Well, I mean, to me it does, but from where I'm standing is
the
modifier there. But
yeah. Well, we're gonna have to kind of pick it up a little bit because we got 40 minutes and we still have 3 questions. So let's go ahead and get to that. Right? Okay. The next question is: will gamers demand fungible tokens in games, and do they have a say, or are they at the mercy of what the gaming companies tell them they can have or not have? And I'd go first with that if that's okay. I believe that right now we're kind of in a video game. What's it called? I'm gonna say bear market, but a video game winter. It's kind of like what happened with Atari. They're overexposed, and they need to sit back and reset. And this is a potential way for them to do that. Mm-hmm. Is that they come out with something to actually ground the video game industry into something and anchor them. And I think if we were to do something like this would be a way for them to have, and it would be a compromise between the people who are gamers, quote unquote, and the people who are in the business just for being in the business.
Yeah, that's a good point. It's a really good point. I would add to that, like think about a game, like the tabletop game Lisa was talking about at the beginning, the simplest game on earth. Really just basic rules, rote procedure. You can play forever. There really aren't all that many terribly big stakes, but there's stakes, right? You can make an illegal move, and it's just somebody has to teach you how to make a proper move, right? Or you can, for some reason, get weirdly emotional about something somebody said and flip the table. Like those are the failure modes of that game, right? Where like if somebody is asocial about it, then you can destroy the fun. Those are examples of that game's sort of failure mode. And you get into this more complex failure mode when you have a game that I consider to be a game just like that, between game designers who have a story to tell and a passion to tell the story a certain way, and the players who play it on the other end, and the community you create in the middle. That's the tabletop conversation, is that community that talks about the game and says, hey, devs, do this. Hey, you buttholes, write a better story or whatever, Right. And the gamers come back, or the devs come back, and they say, oh, maybe I'll try it this way. And they play another round, right? Between build and release, the rules change. It's called a nomic game. The game adapts to rule changes as you play based on feedback from players. And that's what's happening at scale. And now let's ask the silly question, because we already know the answer to this one. Do you think that system improves if you bolt a giant institution with a giant institution bolted onto it that says certain rules are unfair and certain rules are fair, and we're going to use bureaucracy and guns to make it so that you have to play the game by these rules? Does that help or get worse? I mean,
I think it causes things like black markets where people are then exchanging value, in other ways.
Right, like you sell your character, or you sell your character on eBay under an account you set up on Tor or something. Right? So you can't get caught for doing something that the terms say is creation of value extracted from the game world, and that's evil, because they decided it was evil when they invented laws against casinos under Prohibition, because there were a whole bunch of really intelligent people making smart choices about how to govern humans running the world back then.
Or you print off your own counterfeit magic cards, you just go online, print off the card, and then use them in a game with your friends. and then
They're
they
still
all get
desperate to
pissed.
get rid of
like,
that
"What?"
prohibition thing, aren't they?
Yeah,
They don't like it that we remind them that the gaming rules come from the same spirit.
Exactly.
Go ahead, Lisa, if you'd like to answer. You're on mute.
Sorry, I was kind of giving my my contribution with Greg, but I think it does force, the black market opportunity. I mean, I think it already kind of exists. Like I was saying, there's those gift card things, and you can buy something in the game, but then you can gift that to someone else in a game. And this is where the really scary stuff with Roblox, and if you guys are watching the Sean Ryan show with what's his name, the white hat guy, hacker, that he's trying to get rid of all the bad people that are hurting children and stuff with inside the game. But they're even like gifting children stuff in the game to then exchange for something that cannot be regulated and could be harmful to that child. And so there is, and that's an exchange of attention and all of that kind of stuff that keeps that going, So
So what you're saying is like the fact that it looks like an attention treadmill when you frame it like that may be a little bit of stage magic.
Yeah.
It could be for the gaming company to protect them, that then, I'm not responsible for what happens on my platform. If I'm introduced, if the front door is my platform, I'm not responsible for what happens.
Right. So I'll clarify. I wasn't suggesting stage magic performed to the players. I was suggesting stage magic in which the players are props performed at the government.
Yeah.
That doesn't sound like fun to be a prop for a play that you're performing for compliance, does it?
Right. What do you think, Zach?
Or not you're performing, rather the other people are performing with you as a tool of stagecraft. Look at these players. They're doing this. The rules work. Blah, blah, blah.
But they don't work because people are being harmed by it. There is the loss. And that's where, then where is the SEC or CFTC or whoever is supposed to be? You know what I mean?
They're only worried about not being blamed. So it's really kind of like you can tell you're being stage magicked as a sort of like you're the rabbit in the hat instead of the person who is watching the show. If you look around at what you can see of it and you have no idea why anybody's clapping when they are. Like if it doesn't make sense when they're applauding or they're booing because of how they're thinking about it, and you're sitting here going, but I don't care about you getting your hands in my game and stopping it from being like that for me at all. Who's talking here? Who are you talking to? I think that's really the big question that game studios need to answer if they have a hope of surviving this, because what we're really talking about with crypto is that dynamic becoming inapposite. Like they don't actually have a way to force people to behave like that forever. The only thing they've got right now is compliance. They don't have the ability to say, no, you may not, and have it mean anything other than we might get a response of, oh, yes, we can. Because if that's the case, if we just decide to build irreverent to what they say, then it can, in fact, be exactly all the magic, right? Crypto could be awesome with games, as long as we don't turn it into a stage show for regulators.
Right.
Zach?
That's my 2 cents. That's exactly where I stand. So I don't have anything more to add to it.
I already answered. Let's move on.
All right. If the U.S. government and the European government stopped cryptocurrency rewards in gaming, why didn't Asian cultures adopt them, and why didn't they have tremendous growth?
That's because Asia's retarded.
That's because we're all bound into the same control architecture, and those people could not move because we were the first movers to say nope. With our institutional bolt-ons that make gaming less fun.
Well, I mean,
I also think that Asian cultures are a little bit more submissive towards certain capacity. So are we, and here in the West, to a certain extent in our own variation, but they are more so prone towards full submission.
Well,
just because of cultural variation. So
I haven't lived over there, so I don't know. I guess I feel like people there are probably a lot less compliant in Asia than we know.
I don't agree, because I think because it was a lot easier for the arm of communism to put its thumb into and rake the eye of China and much of the East, or the interventions of the American Empire to uh, recycle Japan, or resuscitate Japan into the American uh, idea.
Well, I mean, didn't we kind of make a big statement to Asia about how we should follow, or how they should follow the rules and not mess with what we want even a little bit? One point in time, I feel like there was this event in 1945 where we did a thing, and all of a sudden Asia got a really visible message.
Well, yeah. For us and our influence over in Asia, we kind of we dropped the bomb twice.
Literally, that's where the whole freaking meme comes from, right? The explosion communicated itself to China visibly, literally.
Mm-hmm. You know, but then at the same time, I mean, specifically with China and its culture, I think appropriates. It leans towards the appropriation of more submission to authority, whether it's familial or on the outer realm within the state and the emperor, etc. And that's why communism has expanded further.
I agree with one quibble, really. And my quibble is that our influence did not structure it because of Tennessee Valley Authority type tie-ins to the first socialist revolution in Russia, and the special relationship between Russia and its satellites that we sort of pressured them into by treating it like an us versus them proxy war for ideological control for Earth. We may have pushed them into the stance of, we need to have a balance with these people to make sense in their terms. And that's all you need to force a policy to behave a certain way. That's my stance. I mean, I don't know if I'm right, but that's kind of where I'm sitting right now. I'm willing to change this because I'm really uncertain, but that's how I look at it when I see it. And that's what I think.
Lisa?
Geopolitics.
I don't think it's assumed that Asia does everything opposite of the West. And especially in fact that if we're talking about creating crypto into gaming and then making it some kind of form of money or holding value, you have to remember that the powers that be, the central banks, are all over the world. And so that would be my
Who did the first one of those? Like, who built the model for the central bank? Do you guys remember?
Likely it's the central banking that's pushing back on the ability for cryptos and gaming to have any kind of monetary value or equivalent of.
Well, I guess I'll combine a little bit of everybody's answer here. I mean, you think Asia, right? The Japanese government is a vassal state of the United States only because they have, the same kind of financial system we have, which is built around the Federal Reserve, right? And the Federal Reserve was the first most recent central bank. And they outsourced their framework to the International Monetary Fund, which brought everybody else onto the same page. So really, there's no authentic originality in any of these countries because we're all under the same roof of the same system. It's just a different nuance.
So it propagates by sort of mass of ability to force action, is what you're saying.
That's why
don't look at it and like it works over there, so we should try copying it, and that's how it starts. But then it snowballs.
It's mercantilism. It's mercantilism, and it's also Adam Smith's treatise in Wealth of Nations is exactly we're all interconnected globally through a market system that transfers both idea, influence, and product amongst each other. So it's services, goods, and ideology.
Yeah. Oh, that's all good points, guys. Holy shit! This show just got broad and deep, didn't it?
And that's why we're all in such financial strain, is because we're all, like I said, we're all under the same framework. We're under the same. We're speaking the same language, and it's a language of debt.
I can feel that in my chest when you say that, man. Like, it's one of those things you don't need to know the meaning of the words to know that you're right.
Yeah. Which goes off of the fact that socialism is the implication of why capitalism began, which is the the administration of debt in the hands of a few who control the capital and make the world go around.
Yep.
They're all interlinked.
The sort of basic example is it's just a tax system that pays a credit card down, and then the credit card is repurchased up by bondholders who use the credit card how they want.
Yeah.
So mutual insurance.
Yeah, it's socialized cost and externalized losses.
Capitalism. I look at it this way: like capitalism is exactly that. It's socialism for the rich as an insurance system, a private public insurance system, to socialism where the people are presented as collateral and assets. They're all intertwined, and the capitalist societies need the socialist societies, and the socialist societies need the capitalist societies.
We need a word for this. It needs to be like appropriately recognition of the fact that nothing in it tastes good or is interesting in particular at scale, right? Like we should call it procedural. Words. Like in games, they call it procedural oatmeal. I like to call it procedural gruel because it's grosser, but it's the same thing.
There's 3 words for this: fake, gay, and retarded.
Yes.
Everything's
we need a 5th dimension.
Everything's fake, gay, and retarded.
Fake, gay, and retarded over time. There we go. Yeah, a full 4-dimensional field theory of retardation.
We got 22 minutes. Let's get to the last question real quick.
Okay, cool. Then we can shove some current events into a crick soundbite. Hello.
Yeah, right.
Did I just fall into that by accident or what?
Clip this.
We were talking about Asia, and that is a really ugly trope to some people that I think is horribly funny when they react to it badly.
Are you implying it's Opegangu style?
I'm trying to say that it's a joke, and that nobody can make me not believe that.
Okay, here's the last question: can token rewards in gaming that work outside of the actual game be done without blockchain?
Yes, they already are.
Okay.
As to my examples I've given before, like my son saying, like I can buy him a V-Bucks card, and then he can buy a skin thing or a whatever and give it to his friend in the game. That already happens without blockchain, and it is outside. And his friend could give him, or he could give his friend that skin or whatever, and then that his friend goes, okay, now you can ride my electric scooter for 30 minutes because you gave me something in the game. So that already exists. They just aren't liable, responsible for what happens off.
Right. Platform. Yeah, it can happen. Definitely, for sure. You're right.
Yeah, I promise you it does.
Zach, you want to go next?
Yeah, the piggyback off of what Lisa says, because it already happens. Now imagine implementing blockchain. So now that it's on chain, you can actually register it, and you know that it happened. So now there's no, well, you didn't give me this or you didn't give me that. And so now you can actually expand on that voluntary mutual relationship with each other and reflect it onto the chain.
Right.
So,
well,
that's my piece.
I would say this: the blockchain isn't carrying value out of a game, right? It doesn't know about games, right? It is a machine that does one simple procedure over and over and over, and it just doesn't care if it's done right. Like if it does care, if there's a gaming exception built in, then the more interesting question is what can it not do in that respect, and who made it that way on purpose, and where do we write a letter to tell them to stop? But the question of what can it do, right? Can it be done without? Of course, right? We've done it all the time. We've already heard 5 good examples, at least, probably more. But if you think about what it can't do as it presently is, then you get an answer that's more stark. Well, where are you not allowed to do this, and how does it not work? Well, it involves bureaucrats and men with guns who help them enforce it if you don't submit the paperwork before the paperwork submits to you, right? So the question then becomes, what must happen if we allow this, right? Like if we let go of control here, what can happen? Because I think the thing that can't happen is that token rewards that will work outside the actual game, with or without a blockchain, if we don't fix the institutional bolt-ons first so that they don't spoil the fun before anybody gets to play.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I could definitely see what you're saying there. Governments like to intrude waking moment that they can, and
start from a default state of intrude. They have to answer no, we shouldn't intrude before they'll let anything go.
Yeah, and that's the problem. Is it's if they have the option to intrude, then they've won the game.
Yeah, agreed.
And then in a legitimate
make it so that they
market,
don't have a choice and they have to accept it as the world, then they actually will play ball.
In a legitimate market, there's always an actor outside who observes something's happened and they've not done anything about it.
Yeah,
and that's what we call neutrality. And that's my answer. It can work. It's just we need a way to force neutrality, and that's what blockchain is supposed to try to do.
Yeah, absolutely. That's super cool, man. Anybody else want to throw anything at this one? Because I feel like we're getting close to the place where all the spiders are stuck to the wall and it's starting to look, blue, green, and red instead of like a wacky wall walker.
Right. I never heard that put it that way before, but yeah.
I was just trying to anchor it to a cereal box metaphor everyone might remember if they ate cereal in the 80s and 90s, because that's when I have a frame of reference for it.
Oh.
You remember the wacky wall walkers? Have you guys seen those?
Oh, yes.
I've not seen that, no.
They stain your mother's walls if she has matte or flat paint.
Or the hand slappy ones on a string that come with sticky slime. Put the hand-shaped prints out of reach of cleaning.
Yeah, those are terrible for the ceiling. Do not let your child put those on the ceiling. Real interesting going to a current event thing, but kind of in line with what you were saying, Greg, at the end, like if it could be done, and what Andrew was saying, what you guys were all saying, but is that how the blockchain would clean it up or could make it more tangible outside the platform. Reggie Middleton was just posting about that there were just deposits, cash deposits on blockchain to go through the overnight repo, just settled like January 16th or something, between like Virtu's one of them. I can't remember all the institutions that were doing this, but there were a handful of institutions that were doing some sampling of cash deposits on chain. And so that would prevent that rehypothecation or fractional reserve lending, that most banks do with deposits. And so because that would be the thing where you'd have to prevent that in gaming. Because you can't have them then, like Greg said on the one, well, once you create it once, then people make copies, and then it devalues that. So if it's on chain, then there's only the one, and it can't be devalued because it can be identified as that one. And with this just happening here, January 16th, the timing of this is really interesting because to me, that may be more of the end of the bankers than the silver going up. Even silver going up may be a symptom of that, But
yeah. If you share another screen real quick, I threw one up.
Yes.
Yeah, real quick. Zach, I think, posted this in a private. Justin, the Senate AG committee has just passed its portion of the Clarity Act out of committee on a 12-11 party line vote with no Democrats voting in favor.
Hey,
just wanted to share that.
MAGA, you voted for this,
right?
Actually, even worse. Dave Smith, you voted for this. You voted for digital slavery. Actually, Aaron Day has a nice quote. Let me look for it. He has a nice sum up quote tweet to this. I'll be back.
But once again, it's not about blaming someone because we're all to blame at that point. We are America.
Yeah,
we are America. And like John McAfee said, you're all sheeple. What the hell did you do with it? And so, pointing fingers at
there it is.
MAGA or the Republicans when the Dems are the ones creating, all of this. I shouldn't say all of this because it's not all of us. That is the distraction, is pointing the fingers. We're all responsible for it. So choose something different. Don't choose the Clarity Act and the
exactly. And stop playing politics, because that's the game you play where you get what they give you at the end, and it looks like a surprise.
Let them make rules for typewriters that we don't use anymore.
Right.
can
You're
make all
going to
the
play
rules
the we win
better.
game with some people who are really good at pretending like they had nothing to do with the outcome.
Right.
You
I'll
play the
share
we
this real
win
quick
game, right?
with them.
With your toddler, right? I win no matter what the rules are. That's politics as a game in a nutshell.
Yeah. I'll zoom in a little bit for that. I would vote a strong no on this bill. Republicans deserve to lose the primaries over genius clarity and the ongoing war on crypto, with our crypto prisoners like Ian Freeman, Roman Storm, and Keenan Rodriguez and William Smith in prison or awaiting sentencing. You didn't vote for crypto, you voted for digital slavery, and it didn't even know the difference.
Yeah, I guess that's my point, is that I don't think the Republicans or the Dems have the answer, and we're seeing.
Well,
that.
I mean, they're always speaking the same language, is speaking the dollar.
The dollar, the lobbyist dollar, of what told them to say. And maybe that's why that little penguin. Did you guys see? Did you see the viral penguin thing? And then all the things were doing posting all the little penguins, and they're talking about the nihilist penguin.
Nihilist, yeah.
And maybe we all need to be that penguin.
Right.
And walk away.
I think we need to have 2 new acts proposed in Congress to compete, so there's a fair game here, so at least we can have a chance to have a different outcome. I propose we call them the Moron Act and the Obscure Act, because in politics it's like what's the Jim Cramer effect, right? I'm just saying we need a Jim Cramer index for every law so that we can have the Moron and Obscure Act. The acronyms mean the opposite of what the law does.
Yeah.
Like if we made those the names of it might actually work out.
I just think we need to reenact for real this time the years between 1942 and 1945.
That doesn't sound very fun. I didn't like any of the implications of those years.
Not the war part either.
I just want to keep playing World War III on what's called the internet. That's the game board. World War III is called information.
It is. We are in an information war.
Yep.
Hey,
Internet's where we play.
You're missed today, but thank you for all the great questions.
Hey, how's it going? Could have used you, but no pressure. The Emperor has signal again. That's fantastic. We missed you.
The Emperor wears clothes.
I hope.
He was without when he was in wherever the signal wasn't.
Yeah, right. All right. Well, we got about 10 minutes here, so let's go ahead. Thank you guys for joining us and everything. What are you all up to, and where can we find you? Go ahead, Lisa, my days first.
I'm staying warm in the snow and taking care of my family, and I hope everybody is enjoying themselves and doing the same. I've had a couple of really fun shows lately with my friend V-Steg, Skullcap Savant, and Sean and I did a show on Tuesday. I think it was Tuesday. And that was fun, catching up with him and talking about some we have a fun little banter that sometimes we disagree, which I think is kind of the best part, where you get to open your mind and think about somebody you respect, think of, in another way. So that's always fun. And then Friday we'll have happy hour, and we'll talk about current events, and we have a great community in the live chat there. So everybody's welcome to join us then too.
That sounds like fun. Zach?
Move on.
He's not doing it.
All right. Well, go ahead and go with Greg, and then I'll follow up.
Okay. Well, I was about to type this out for everybody in the chat, but since I'm speaking, I'm just going to share a screen and show it real quick, guys. And this will only take a split second. So please bear with me because this is going to be quick. Here we go. So what you're looking at right now, if this is on screen.
Wait.
Is it on screen?
It is. Waiting. Yes. You're good.
Okay, we can all see this. It says all aboard the SS Smooth Sailing if you're watching, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. We are steering towards sunnier shores, the only place where robust, neutral infrastructure can drop anchor and stand on solid ground. Because you can't sail rough seas on a raft made out of legalese, right? I mean, we've even got Did You Know, right? Did you know? Where is it? Hey, Bran, if the system needs interpretation to survive pressure, it won't. There we go. These little factoids pop up here, so it's fun to rerun them because there's a big list and I didn't make them myself, other than to specify a very specific set of constraints. But Rivet is no longer going to be riveting as a consumer platform anymore. We are moving to the next phase of decentralization over there. We are charging our way out the door to DIN, and now infrastructure is going to go neutral on a new frontier. So join us. Go over there and click, read around, go check out DIN. It's the Decentralized Infrastructure Network. We're about to build something that will make these coordination cost problems, if we do it right, vanish. And we need people that understand it to hold us accountable to that if we intend to succeed. So please join.
Sounds pretty cool. Are you sure you don't want anything to say, Zach?
I had to fix the camera, dude. So just join. Yeah, join us on Sunday evening at 5 p.m. while we dive into how an atheist ended up coming to faith through epistemology and philosophy. Literally, reason brought him to faith. So join us.
We talked about him last time, so I'm excited to meet him.
So we talked about him last Wednesday with Sean, and we're going to talk with him. So join us, The Legacy Right, on YouTube live on Sunday at 5 p.m. Eastern, and you'll get to hopefully hear some great stories and some great insights, and then of course right after that, if you like the podcast version better, go check out The Legacy Right on Spotify, Apple, Amazon, wherever you like your podcasts. Go check us out. Give us
the only way you shouldn't probably consume this show is by first formulating it into a dot plot made out of dubby powder and then snorting it, because you shouldn't snort dubby.
Dubby.gg Legacy Right promo code.
You can. Go get yourself some dubby.
Sponsored to you that they didn't authorize.
Right.
We love you guys. Thank you for being awesome and not suing us within an inch of our lives and cutting us off for that. We really don't want people to snort you.
Check us out on X, on YouTube, on Facebook. Legacy Right, and there's other places, but we're primarily promoting over there. So
YouTube and anywhere you get your podcasts.
Yeah. Sorry. Excuse me.
Yeah. Well, potato, absent, plot.
Everyone's got their own taste, words. Right?
Yeah.
So
potato, blank. You can say how you want.
Yeah, if you want to jump into some illogical takes on the logics and reason of faith and dive into theology, you can always check out my Substack at illogicalphilosophy.substack.com. So I'm starting to write articles now. So
you guys need to read his stuff, man. This man is a Salinger in disguise. You wouldn't think it to look at the all caps in his subtext right there. But this guy can string a sentence together like no other. Zach is really brilliant. You should read his stuff. I'm not even I wouldn't say that about him. I'm really stuck up. He's really good.
I got a couple articles right now on the back burner that kind of murders libertarianism. I hate to say it.
It's an ism. All isms suck. It doesn't even matter if you root it with liberty, right?
Exactly. So.
How you ruin it is to add an ism to the end.
Yeah. Well, thanks you guys for watching us, and it was a really good program, and we look forward to see you next Thursday.
All right, take care. Bye, guys.
America's not the government, people. The America is you. It is the Grand fucking Canyon, the Rocky Mountains, the deserts of the Southwest, the Pacific fucking Ocean, the Atlantic fucking Ocean. It is the grandest continent. And what the fuck have you people done? You have turned yourself into sheep, every goddamn one of you.
struggle will serve to organize and measure the best.
Adaptable, all capital, label radical yet rational. A tactical approach is palpable if this animal is fallible, but that conclusion is laughable. So with for all detachable from the mandible, you see it now.